So inshimulero katuishinga shirishani. Kaidi ama flowers na apuluka na mabula yonse kufiyunte.
Takule maneka. Atresi pali mpundu. Misokologe, suku. Rafia se shira senda ko ifyakulia fumoche kwa mpangilo w'uruki.
Nyomba pa nyaya fyali kwa ma flowers ya.
But
Nyomba is like nayo kamwaka. Bamenshi mutashire isako. Tiyo ntimone obuchi. Amsha muri no obuchi munshi mumu.
tiyo kusangwa ino shitana shambo kubika.
So taking a walk today, I realized that the bees are really important, and I'm glad there's actually a beehive there, because what the bees do for us is really understated. Did you know that if the bees died, like if we had no more bees around, the whole of life would just break down? So you can see today the forest is an August forest, so the leaves have fallen and the trees seem bare, but the bees still find flowers. Because what happens in nature is that not all the trees have their leaves fall and not all of them not have flowers. There are other trees as we walk on that you will see that have flowers. The flowers in the forest, like this forest, are really healthy because they have a biodiversity around them. You don't get one type of flower. So if this beehive was in a farm, for example, where you have avocado trees or you just have sunflowers, the honey that the bees produce will also smell a little bit like the sunflower. They will smell a little bit like avocado. But the wild forest honey is really diverse. It's rich because the bees just forage. They find whatever flower they resonate with. They don't sit on all the flowers. They sit on flowers that are safe, that are not poisonous, and they go in and get their nectar and get their pollen, and that's what we really eat in a honey jar. Ama flowers takuri kufimu tikai.
Ama flowers shila fuaya. Kuri mpundu samwea shila ya shasenda. Kuri masokolobe shaya shasenda. Amasuku shaya shasenda. And then kunsafwa shaya shasenda. Even chipashi chila ya kumisafwa chasenda. Chaya kumasuku chasenda. Chila senda kufimu tifya psana ifya kwa toa obukankala mumibiri shesu.
Inga ama stingless bees yena.
Yala ya mukufwaya na yena. Temula kwa wati yambie kala panshi, yambie kala mufimu tiyala ya mukufwaya.
Kufimu tifimu ichi nachikwata kwa mabule ichi. Nomba amaluva tachikwete.
Amaluva tachikwete. Chila fwayo kofia mukufumia. Lesa lifipela amano. Aya kusangila mwefidi fyonsi.
Okay.
Tetsenga mlana chila pendela kuliko kwa wati kuliko kule moneka meishi bwino filenda, fyasenda, fyaleta fyapanga pamo.
Okay. Kunwa meishi kwa tipatali. Na kuuma kofidia. August efyo echitate. Fyo sefyo mtifya pulula. Denishi mushata mpoku fwailikisha nomba.
Shila kwanisha shasenda kairi hapa. That's why muchibemba balanda ati akasaka ntobo.
Akasaka ntobo. Muchi sungu nishi.
I don't know. Tell explain mwele shi. Kairi para nombe fimu tifyonse fyala kwata amavula ya suma. Fyala kwata amaflowers ya suma.
Oh, springtime. Springtime nishita mumpanga eo amavula ya tampo kwisa ya red orange paka padiemfula ilefo kupalamina ya tampo kuba ya green wino tefyo. Okay. Awe chibembe chetu asambira. So what the bees are the main pollinators. What a pollinator is that it sits from one flower to the other. Remember that when they are flying, they keep the nectar on their body, especially on their legs. So if they sit on one flower, for example, a mubanga tree flower, then they fly around and sit on an acacia flower. That is spreading around the pollen, or if they sit on the same kind of flowers, then they are helping those flowers to pollinate, and flowers are what give us the fruit. So for example, the baobab tree or the msekese tree have flowers. So the bees will sit from one flower to another on the same tree. It's helping the tree have a lot more fruit when it fruits than if the bee was not there. Funny enough, some plants like the masao tree is not pollinated by bees, it's pollinated by flies because it doesn't smell pleasant. So the bees don't sit on the masao flowers, they sit on different miombo fruiting trees that have flowers that smell nice, that have medicinal properties. When we walk in deeper forests with bigger trees than here, the bee is actually an indicator for us to find certain medicinal trees. So if a bee isn't sitting on that flower, we know that we can't harvest from that. So finshi fyaba mubuchi ifichite pa mundu.
Fidia fimuti vya mukusendako. That's why ngabalela ndapabukankala bwakuputula fimuti. Tatuishibwa mo chilelola. Tumona fya tia bale bomfya fye obuluku bwako nomba twakula afumia kwisa twakula chitashani. Ifyonse fya likwata ishintililo lya fiko. Te fyonse fye benga tulondolo ela fye pale apene. That's why kwa vela ama indigenous knowledge.
Indigenous knowledge.
So
amanwa ya fikolwe, amanwa ya ma ancestors veso.
Emkwai. Kulolesha chichimuti chali kwata obukankala mulifi, chichimuti kuti chabomba mulishile, chichimuti kuti chabomba mulishila. Nomba iya kuputula fye chiputule. Like impundu. Impundu tatufiri okushiputula. Amasuku tatufiri okuputula. Imfungo tatufiri okuputula. Misafa tatufiri okuputula. Kula konsefi ubuchi bonse upo bwapela balyako fila ya mukusenda. Angaba sankanya fya sankanya. Fila pango omuti umokankala sana mu life Yesu.
Ni secret ya nshimu. So as a herbalist, as a bougie herbalist, as a forester, as a beekeeper, I'm really happy to have the bees here. And if you look closely, they are really busy just going in and out and in and out. So if you were a bee, you'd come out and look at the sun and you'd know what direction to fly to find water, to find flowers, to find the pollen that they are looking for, to find the nectar that they are looking for. And the most amazing thing about bees is that if one of those little bees goes to a poisonous plant or to bad water, the rest of the bees in there will not let it in. They'll keep it out and they'll kill it. That is a sacrifice that the whole beehive has to make to protect itself from getting disease or from getting bad water and stuff like that. Mulusaka I think inshimuna shishupa tashire sangwa pantu imiti na bapanga malasha. Kuchongwe ngatwaya takudi. Kuma kafiwe takudi. Kuma mumbwa road takudi. Mungule road nomba ni town ifena isanduka ni town.
Takudi kwa malasha sanga bwino. Tashikwete hapa kuikala ifimu tifyonse fe shifirio kuikala matamuli. Ifukuluka ishikala mumpako.
Mufimutifu kalamba so.
Ichimutinga chikulu nachikwata olupako olukulu. Nobu uchibuka bamolo ishita ya kupanda ikafika. Wingi. Nombe fimutifu kuluta pali shala abika pesa.
Pantu akamuti akatapali nshimwishi.
Ili shele nomba kuya akambatila pachimuti pala pene shavika pofenga tu pepe tubili mulamu inemo shavika. Pashita ya kufuma po shali ya shaya nokwe.
Kaili ubuchi fyakulya fya nshimu tefye. So pakupanda tufilo kuchitashani pakutishilie nshimu shivutuka.
Ngamo apanda mufile mwashamo notu kufumiamo fyonse.
Kaili tule ibafye nishite.
Kula vefi kwata nefi shikwata. Nomba ifu pada pakwe bati yo kula chifumia se wachiposa wafumia waposa wafumia taufuili okuchiposa ufuili okuchibwekesha bwino elo filia pakupanda ufili wachiputula bwino echimuti kuchipanga bwino sana wafumia hapo ichakuba chiputua isa kula bo kuchiputula bwino nga mwafumia mobu uchifilia mwabwekesha mofi mwefu pepe nangu fitatu elo mwaimia chile chimuti mwabwekesha hapo mwakambatika bwino nga kukaka mwakakibila tashakaye.
Okay.
Shikambo kulunda pona fimbi pakwe bati shikalilile pala pene nomba pamula ndoka na ishiba fionse fitu ya fiamu kufuputaula fe wachi putaula washa wafi posaika pariani ishishaya chapa tashaikali ngaba apangire fi batontonkenye shani bio mulamula bala fumya mobuchi but tashia shilekala
tabafunya bonse na pakufunya tabapasa ti ifipepo kufisankanye fyabane fyabuluba fyabuchi
echo nangu kupakwambo kushila filatantika bwino
nomba kuti twachitashanyu kwafuidisha abantu nsebeshi bati ukuputule echimuti nishifingi waipaya
ififine mule chitapano mule sambirisha kuchalo kwe bati kulifi muti ifyo tushinga bomfya ukona ula emkwaye ifi muti ifire twala ma fruits kuli ama fruits eyo ife twaishiba fwebe na Africa eyo abanensu baishiba ngo ifya kuli efisuma mu life but ife tufimona kwati fya chabe so
tuputaula fye fimuti
ukuputaula fye chimuti chiputule fye eri ole putule chimuti chonse po chapela nishina chikwata umulimo ole chiputula not chiputule fye
kaidi amalasha nimpia mulusaka nomba mulilo Zambia yonse ntire load shedding nice
kwata lelo tashaka fike 50 years kuntanshi lelo linonga washikwata nishino kupona shipo so
but nishimpanga nayo naekana chipwate
kutontonka nishishako kuntanshi pako bati nabambi bakese stola kwa ayamano kwe bati okanshifi echo efikolo fishale ona wila ngelo efo efikolo fyesu fyale esungirila pako batuse tufisangelelo
chachi necho chabulanda ntire bantu inganamona amalasha of course tula pangama bright waipikira pochiremba nesavi nomba ifimuti fili muisaka muti
sana
neishi munomba tashakula kwato kwa kusanga obuluba limbye chobu chibududire tefyo
echilengele kalenshi mu bale shale kwata neishi tafya pa kwa bati mu August November nishina shipango buchi kula benshiteyo shikolonganika shapango buluba shakwata abana elo shaisa pango buchi nomba kula benshiteyo ko bati nga chashu papariye ubuluba bwapwa kufimuti abakalamba balana ndati nashisokolola tamuli ino nshtamuleo na ulafi lekeni ishtaika fike
twipando obuchi ino nshtayo
nishtwalao na ulafi yokushifulunga nisha plani yashiko emkwaye.
So I'm really happy that we are here and we could look at a few flowers around that have flowered. As insignificant as they look, they have the pollen, they have the nectar. And there's one like this one here. We actually use this plant as a good luck charm. But look at the flowers, they are really nice. If you don't look closely in the bush, you might think that everything is dry. But nature has its beautiful way of balancing out what every single creature needs. And at this point, this forest is providing for those bees and for the other insects that we can't see. It's a beautiful day.